Turn your notifications off, but turn your emotions on. Welcome to Emotionally in Airplane Mode. Unread feelings and microphone tears, where the messages stay unsent, but the truth finally gets spoken.
Heart emotionally in airplane mode, heart on silent, nobody knows. Unread feelings filling up my phone, but tonight we ain't grieving alone. Microphone tears, let the pain unfold. Stories too heavy for a heart to hold. Every scar got a chapter untold. Welcome to the place where the truth gets told. Got 1,000 texts that I never sent. Smiles on my face, but my soul bent. Everybody watching. How did you heal me, but then turn around and hurt me, and shatter me to glass pieces? How did the same hands that helped put me back together become the same hands that left fingerprints on my brokenness? How did the same person who once felt like a blessing become a lesson I never asked to learn? We shared secrets that nobody else knew, the kind of secrets buried beneath smiles hidden behind "I'm okay," and locked inside conversations that only happened after midnight. You knew the chapters of my story that I never read out loud. You knew where I hurt, you knew where I was healing, you knew where I was trying to be strong, and somehow, out of all the people in the world, you knew exactly how to make me smile even when I was mad at you. I could be sitting there with my arms folded, trying my best to stay upset, and somehow you'd say something so ridiculous that I'd end up laughing anyway. That was our thing. The laughter, the inside jokes, the shared interests, the conversations that seemed to have no ending. The moments where silence wasn't awkward because our connection spoke louder than words, and before things got cold, before the distance, before the silence, before the unfamiliar version of you arrived. You were my favorite embrace, not because life magically became easy, not because every problem disappeared, but because when I was wrapped inside your embrace, the world became quiet. The anxiety became quieter. The overthinking became quieter. The hurt became quieter. The loneliness became quieter. For a few moments, everything that felt heavy somehow felt lighter. Your embrace wasn't just physical, it was emotional. It was the place my exhausted heart went to rest. The place where my walls came down. The place where I didn't have to pretend to be strong. The place where I didn't have to carry everything alone. You could read my emotions like a book. I'd say nothing is wrong, and you look at me and say, tell me what it really is. And somehow you always knew. You'd pull the truth out of me, one piece at a time. You knew when my smile was fake. You knew when my heart was heavy. You knew when I was fighting battles I wasn't telling anybody about. You could hear pain through a simple text message. You could hear disappointment through a simple okay. You could hear sadness through silence. And when I felt like quitting, you became motivation. When life felt heavy, you became encouragement. When my confidence started fading, you reminded me who I was. You poured strength into me, During moments when I had none left, you spoke life into places where hopelessness was trying to grow. You helped me stand when I felt like collapsing. That's why this hurts the way it does, because strangers don't leave wounds like this. People who never mattered don't leave scars this deep. The deepest pain comes from the people who once felt like home. And somewhere along the way, the person who felt like a best friend became a cold-hearted stranger. A stranger wearing a familiar face. A stranger carrying memories that still live inside my head. A stranger that sometimes makes me wonder if I ever truly knew them at all. Now I'm left here trying to understand how someone can know your soul and still walk away from it. Trying to understand how someone can learn your broken places, help heal them, and then leave you carrying a double portion of pain. Because now, I'm not only grieving you, I'm grieving us. The conversations, the laughter, the connection, the trust. The future I thought we'd always have. The bond I believed was made with infinity glue. The kind of bond I thought could survive storms, distance, misunderstandings, time and pain. The kind of bond I thought was unbreakable. Yet here I am, standing in the middle of memories, trying to sweep up glass pieces of a relationship I never imagined would shatter, fighting thoughts of what was, fighting memories of who we used to be. The laughter still lives here. The inside jokes still live here. The shared interests still live here. The random conversations still live here. The moments that felt ordinary then feel priceless now. Sometimes I remember us laughing so hard that breathing became difficult. Sometimes I remember conversations that lasted for hours. Sometimes I remember how excited we were about the same things, how naturally we connected, how effortless it felt, how rare it felt, how real it felt. And that's when grief becomes complicated, because I'm not just mourning what happened, I'm mourning what was beautiful. I'm mourning what felt genuine. I'm mourning the version of us that made me believe some connections were built to last forever. The hardest part isn't losing you. The hardest part is learning how to become whole again without the person who once helped me heal. Because now I have to rebuild myself with wounded hands. I have to teach my heart how to trust itself again. I have to find strength where your encouragement used to be. I have to re-heal wounds that were once healed. I have to learn how to survive without the very person who once taught me how. And maybe one day, these glass pieces won't cut so deeply. Maybe one day, the memories won't feel so heavy. Maybe one day, I'll stop asking why. But tonight, all I know is this: what we shared mattered. The laughter mattered, the secrets mattered, the support mattered, the bond mattered, the memories mattered, you mattered. And that's exactly why it hurts this much. Because strangers don't leave echoes. Strangers don't leave pieces of themselves inside your memories. Strangers don't become prayers. Strangers don't become lessons. Strangers don't become healing before becoming heartbreak. But you did. You were my favorite embrace before the coldness arrived. My favorite comfort before the distance arrived. My favorite safe place before the It's a pain I never saw coming, because I never expected the person who helped save my heart to become the reason it shattered. Now I stand here, holding pieces of a shattered heart, wondering how someone who once felt like home became an address I can no longer return to.
Yeah. Turn your notifications off, but turn your emotions on. Welcome to emotionally in airplane mode. Unread feelings and microphone tears, where the messages stay unsent, but the truth finally gets spoken.
I'm emotionally